It requires effort, time, and a lot of patience. It also can cause a lot of stress. So, what is the it? It's homework. This is some of the homework that I've received for my children for the month of March. Homework here is a great time in our household. We spend about 15 to 20 minutes every day doing homework. My son's in second grade and my daughter's in preschool. So my son is able to help my daughter and I'm able to help both of them. And it's just a great time for all of us. The quality time that I get with my children assisting with their homework is one of my favorite reasons as to why I believe homework is still beneficial and should still be given to students. Alongside with parental involvement, continuing to give homework to students, it teaches time management, it encourages the discipline of practice, and it reinforces the lessons that children learn at school. So as I mentioned previously, it's a great way for parents to be involved in their children's education. So for me, it really allows me to see what exactly my kids are learning at school. Sometimes when I talk to my kids' teachers over the phone, or my kids try to explain to me what they're learning, it doesn't always hit me like, what are you doing? But when I see it firsthand and I'm able to help, I'm able to see, oh, this is exactly what you're working on. And the intrinsic value that I get from that is just amazing. To be able to say that I'm helping my kid learn, I'm assisting with their education, it's just a great feeling. Now, while this is a great time in my household with my children, I understand that it's not the same for everyone. A lot of students come from a lot of different backgrounds, and not everybody has the same resources available. So there are what I call different levels of parental involvement with homework. So one level is the parents that are involved in pretty much every level of their child's homework. These are the parents, if it's something that maybe they don't understand, they're able to get help. They can find tutors. They have those resources available to them, and they want to help their child with their homework. Then on the complete opposite end of that spectrum, we have those parents who don't want to be involved with homework at all and who feel that the education process should be pretty much 100% handled by the school and the teachers. The situation that I see most often is the parents that do want to be involved with helping their kids with homework, but due to other barriers, they're not able to. They may have to work, things of that nature, but they do want to help. So, a 2011 article by Marta Ronan showed that socioeconomic backgrounds have a major impact on the parental involvement with homework. The area that I live in and that I work in, we have a lot of low-income families. A lot of kids don't have internet access. They don't have computers. A lot of these kids, when they get home, are taking care of younger siblings. And for also some of our older students, they have to work. So homework is not a top priority for them because of their other obligations. My second reason as to why homework should continue to be given to students is that it reinforces the learning process. Most of education is practice and repetition. There's an old saying, and I actually really like this, and it's repetition is the mother of learning, the father of action, which makes it the architect of achievement. Janine Bimchat researched this topic and found that for students in grades 6 through 10, if they were completing homework, they had higher grades. Research from the high school journal indicates that students who spent 31 to 90 minutes each day on homework scored about 40 points higher on the math section of their SATs than those students that weren't doing math homework. I do want to show a graph, and this is also math related. On my math lab, it shows the correlation between time spent on homework and the test scores. So as you can see, students that did well on their homework, it shows that overall they did well on their test scores, and vice versa. Students that didn't do well on their homework didn't do well on their test. So there is a correlation between doing homework and taking tests. Now, in order for homework to be effective, it does take everyone. Everyone has to be involved, from the student to parents to the teachers. The roles, of course, the students actually have to do the work. Parents have to be involved with the work. And as far as teachers need to be there to provide feedback to the students. Homework is also a great way for teachers to gauge which areas their students are struggling with, where they need to learn more, maybe focus more, focus less. It's a great way to gauge where you kind of are with your students or where your students are. Another important aspect of homework is that it teaches management skills and it encourages discipline. So for students that have regular and consistent homework, the schedule, it teaches them to prioritize. And this is perfect for students after high school, whether they're going into the workforce, they're going to higher education, if they're playing sports, they have to know how to prioritize, having that schedule. It teaches them from a young age that you have to prioritize and plan. Now, while there are a lot of benefits, there are a lot of areas that do still need improvement. One of the biggest areas is that homework isn't fair for students that don't have the proper resources. And this kind of falls back into what I was speaking about earlier. So when you compare a child that has tutoring available, they have computers, they have internet access, they have parents that they can get to help them, it's not the same when you compare it to a child that has to do it on their own. Also, another issue with homework is that just because homework is being completed outside of school does not mean that the student is completing it. So it's not always a fair representation of what the student actually knows. So my suggestion and my solution for this is to not grade homework. I think that homework should be a tool to check for understanding. And I think a lot of students, especially when you get to the upper levels, get overwhelmed and stressed out by the amount of obligations they have, and they get stressed out, with the amount of homework that they have. So I think knowing that it's not graded should help to alleviate some of that stress. And homework also shouldn't take all of a student's time. A student's job pretty much is school. They spend 8 hours or more during schoolwork. So it's not fair to a student to have them do hours of work outside of school. I also don't think homework should be given every day. So according to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, over 2/3 of 9-year-olds and 3/4 of 13-year-olds report doing homework daily. 16% of 9-year-olds report doing more than 1 hour of homework a day. And this number jumped to 37% for 13-year-olds. So another solution that I'd like to give to try to fix that part is to discuss with the teachers what type of homework they're given. And this pretty much boils down to quality versus quantity. If you're given quality homework, you don't need to give a lot of it. Pretty much we need to ensure that there's a clear academic purpose for the work they're given, and the work should check for understanding. In 2012, Adam Maltese and Robert Tye researched, is homework worth the time? And what they found is that teachers shouldn't abandon homework, but they should improve the instructional quality of the homework. So recently, there have been a lot of studies and debates over whether homework should continue to be given to students and its effectiveness. So with a few modifications, we can improve the homework process so that it can continue to be a great learning tool.